all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see Mayrina.
Just let her go. Please.
Thank goodness you're here, sweetie. I don't know what's come over these boys.
Auntie Ethel's face creases with false concern. You realize she's lying about seeing this girl, Mayrina.
Stop this! We won't ask again!
Sweetie, be careful!
He's with the hag!
Don't bloody stand there gaping. Get him!
Need to learn the hard way.
Oh, my stars! I didn't mean for this to happen. Those poor boys were looking for their little sister, Mayrina, the girl who's staying with me. This is all my fault, but I made a promise. Mayrina begged me not to breathe a word if they came looking for her, and my word is my bond. That poor thing will be distraught. We can't let her know. It'd break her poor heart. I'd best get going, but please stop by my house. I'd like to thank you proper.
A chill runs up your spine. You feel like you're being watched. You blink and the wilderness changes. A swamp, stinking and insidious, assaults your senses.
Seems simple enough. Take you.
Need healing. Oh. Dull moment.
Thy wheel of fate turns ever to the dark. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead? The bard's death is a weight for thine own conscience to bear. She will be left to the peace of eternity, where the urge shall seek her no more.
What's on your mind? I don't think so. At least, I still remember everything. In more detail than I wish. But, as for what's going on in your mind, and maybe in mine, I'm certain there are answers out there. We'll find them together. We were both part of Zariel's inner circle. Her by choice, me by force. In the grand scheme of things, I'm inconsequential to Zariel. Sure, I've got the engine, but I wasn't even her strongest fighter. But she favored me like a child favors a captive pet. Mizora envied the attention, I suppose. I'm sure when Zariel gave her the order to hunt me down, Mizora was delighted. No kidding. The fighting, the chaos, the betrayal. It had the makings of a good stage show, but I did not want to be one of the players. I don't know. You'd think she'd have more important things to do. Devils and their pride.
Well met. Not so enchanting as you'd think. The Portiers, the Caldwells, they were the blue bloods hosting the fancy balls and drinking from gold goblets. Father's the son of a blacksmith, born with barely a coin in the coffers. He made a name for himself among the Flaming Fist, brave as Balduran, stubborn as a deep Rothay, daring, outspoken, but hardly posh. I spent more time dueling with Father than I did rubbing elbows with lords. Not to say I didn't develop a taste for good wine and the talent for courtly dance. It's been a badger's age since I've twinkled my toes. A drunk ogre could put on a better show. Well, give it some time, develop a bond, and maybe I'll show you a move or two. I promise, clumsy oath is well within my repertoire.
You know, I was just thinking about you, remembering our little encounter in the night. And I am very grateful. It did get me thinking about the others, though, how they might taste. Not that anyone's volunteered, it's just an idle fancy. Alas, it doesn't hurt to ponder the question, though. Take Will, for example. A man of the people. Very palatable. Like a sweet cider. But the Gith? What in the hells would she taste like? Yes. Heavens forbid we have an interesting conversation. Still, I am intrigued by the possibilities. No one's getting killed, I swear. We're just two friends talking. So, in the spirit of theoretical questions, if you had to take a bite from one of them, who would it be? A meal that would put up a fight. An adventurous choice. Although, the more I think on it, the hungrier I get. I better go find something I can actually get my teeth into. Don't tempt me, darling.
Dog pants through a ball held firmly in his mouth. He relinquishes the ball. It is well chewed and slick with drool.
Ready.
Oh no. I hate wolves.
I didn't realize you were frightened of wolves, Shadowheart.
Everyone's frightened of something. My fear's hardly irrational when you see the fangs on those things.
Well,
I suppose you've noticed I'm not terribly fond of wolves. They're ravenous predators with fangs like daggers. It's hardly an irrational fear to harbor. You've been decent to me so far. Maybe if you can, don't make me face any more of them. At least, not alone. Really? Some might think it makes me a liability. Maybe that's what I like about you. You're different.
not as bad as it could have.
Why are you here? I sent you to Zevlor. What? That damn nose of yours has gone poking in our business.
Mistress Ollerton, I can explain.
Shh, shh. No need. It couldn't be helped.
Koga! What is the meaning of this?
You think yourself quite the spy, don't you? Go on, tell him.
Shadow Druids. Koga, have you lost your mind?
You and Elsin welcome untouchables to your midst. You defile the grove for the sake of harmony.
Ollerton speaks truth. Who among you disagrees? Who would see this grove in ruin?
The choice is made. Koga, burn the tainted away. Start with the snitch.
As you say, Ollerton.
Oh, but you already have. Or does my memory fail so completely? End them, Koga. Unless you have lost your nerve.
The grove may thrive only when the great vine strangles those who imperil it. Ollerton, strike! We take this grove for the shadows! Tree Father, guide!
To think Koga had turned to the ways of Shadow. Her corruption ran so deep. Yet for her to die like this, under the Tree Father's gaze, perhaps it is justice. If only justice soothed my heart. A grove drenched in blood is no sanctuary at all. I pray the Tree Father nourishes Korga's wounded soul, now that she is dead. When Korga shirked her duty, you upheld it in her stead. Let this gift be our thanks. You burn like fire. You howl like wind. You are Faith Warden. A Faith Warden speaks with the authority of the four elements. When you speak, the circles will listen. Go forth, and let your might be known.
I hear you put an end to Korga's treachery. My thanks. But what about your other mission? Any word on Master Halsin? Please hurry, for both your sakes.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Ned Sierranis of the Absolute. We will. Absolute will rule all. Minthara. Back at camp. Scouting. Found druids. Druid. Bear.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Please, Tusk. It's not the time.
Korga lied to us. She betrayed us. She was a blight on the grove. You were right to put her down.
Korga was right. We must put ourselves first. She's dead because of your meddling.
To think we almost finished the ritual. I felt honored when I was chosen to participate. Now I feel guilty I didn't object.
The Rite of Thorns has ceased. It seems you will be allowed to stay, but behave.
Those druids left us no choice. Looks like the druids have eased off some. Small mercies.
This place ain't so special. Why were the druids so protective of it?
Now they're done messing about with rituals, maybe them lot can make themselves useful.
I am not a violent man, but lying to us about Arabella. Get out of my sight. For your own good.
Why didn't we stop her?
The ritual is stopped. That's all Arabella wanted. That's what she tried so hard to do. Please, leave me.
Let's hit the road, Memnos. I'm sick of this place.
Soon.
I'm told the druids have stopped their damn chanting. What happened? Truly. May Kelemvor judge her justly. Then, I've seen hell, and it's too good for her. Thank you. We still have the goblins to contend with, but you've given us time to prepare. I need to ensure my people make the most of it. But here, left over from my soldiering days, it's sparse thanks for what you've done for us, but gods and goblins willing, I won't need it again. If you can clear the road of goblins, as you say, I'll ensure a reward is gathered for you. Just Zevlor, Tilly. We're civilians now, remember?
With respect, sir, being a Hellrider is for life. They can't take...
Keep your steel sharp.
Nothing hurts anymore.
Ah, stranger. Forgive the aroma.
You catch a waft of something foul, metallic, and sickly sweet.
Powdered iron vine. An old hunter's trick. Most monsters will think twice before making a meal of me.
You're a monster hunter? I'm surprised. I thought all Ger were vagrant cutthroats.
And more. We steal chickens, curse your crops, seduce your daughters, the list goes on. Now, I wish I had half the power settled folk think my people possess. Alas, I am a simple wanderer. A simple wanderer and monster hunter. But I'm no witch doctor or cutthroat.
Something terrifying, no doubt. Dragon? Cyclops? Kobold?
Nothing so dramatic. I'm hunting for a vampire spawn. His name is Astarion, but I fear he's gone to ground. I hope the hag of these lands can help me flush him out, if I can afford her blood price. Not this time. My orders are to capture him.
Oh. And bring him where exactly?
Baldur's Gate. My people wait for me there. What?
What?
It isn't possible.
You idiot! What have you done?
There? I'm afraid you're wrong.
Sage choice. Astarion's skills serve us well.
You are playing with fire, Chucky.
Yes. Not anymore. Which is all that matters, really. I didn't do anything. I was kidnapped, just like you. It seems Cazador wants me back. Cazador Zar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven and a monster obsessed with power. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. I'm not happy about it either, you know. Especially for one of them to turn up. It was a group of Gur that attacked me that night in Baldur's Gate. I would have died had Cazador not appeared and saved me. I think you'll find I can. And there's nothing your bleeding heart can do to change my mind. Well, he didn't mention the slave clause at the time. And now he sends a Gur monster hunter for me. It's a message. He's reminding me of his power. Even in the middle of nowhere, he can reach me. And he wants me back. Aha! Safe! You think I'm safe? Do you know the power a vampire lord possesses? He can change shape, turn into mist, call wolves to do his bidding, shrug off blows like they're nothing. He could walk into our camp tonight and kill you with his bare hands. And you'd be lucky if death was the worst thing that happened to you. You don't understand. You don't know him. Just trust me when I say we need to be careful. He'll send more lackeys. He has plenty of souls to command. We just have to be vigilant, keep our wits about us, and kill any monster hunters on sight.
Copper for your thoughts? Wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember the devils slavering with delight. I should have looked after the Elterans more. Gone out of my way to make sure they were all right. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my neck. I let them get on with the nightmare, same as I had to. But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad.
I suppose you want to hear about Cazador. My old master. Before the Mind Flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Cazador Zar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. He had me go out into Baldur's Gate to fetch him the most beautiful souls I could find. It was a fun little ritual of his. I'd bring them back, and he'd ask if I wanted to dine with him. And if I said yes, he'd serve me a dead, putrid rat. Of course, if I said no, he'd have me flayed. Hard to say which was worse. I will, but I won't take it for granted. The Mind Flayers aren't the only monsters out there. They're not even the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows. What more could I ask? Now, is that all? There you are, my friend. you now? Don't make promises you can't keep, darling. Thankfully, I've had my needs met this evening. I found a bear. He took a little of my blood. I took all of his. You're comparing plonk to vintage wine. You can make merry with either, but they're not the same. But Cazador fed me rats and bugs. And when you're used to drinking from a sewer, even plonk is a marked improvement. It was exactly as appetizing as you'd think. Still, that was the past. I'll never have to grovel for him again. Exactly. I can be better than him. Stronger. More powerful. More... Oh. You meant be kinder. Pet bunnies, that sort of thing. I've no objection to being nice, of course, once I have the power to bend others to my will. Is it? What good is freedom if I'm always watching the shadows? No. I'll be safe when I'm powerful enough to grind Cazador into the dust. Powerful enough to do whatever the hell I want. Oh, I hope so. A little corruption sounds fun. I spent centuries as the victim of a corrupt man. It was the mind flayers that plucked me away from that. They gave me a gift. The strength to take my own freedom. I'm embracing this power. You should too.